Once upon a time, in a beautiful, grand castle, lived a just king and his good-hearted queen. They had 11 strong sons who were princes, and one daughter, the little princess, exceptionally beautiful, and the youngest of all her siblings. This royal family lived in overwhelming happiness. But happiness doesn't always last. The good queen passed away, and everyone knew the bitterness of sorrow. The king decided to marry again, but sadly, he fell into the trap of a cunning wife, a wicked queen. She managed, with her magic and deceit, to make him love and obey her. The wicked queen began telling the king made-up stories about his children until he grew angry at them. And just 2 weeks later, the queen advised her husband to send the little princess to the distant countryside, claiming that her health was weak. With this cunning trick, the queen got rid of the princess. The wicked queen did not stop there. One day, after the king went out hunting, she summoned the 11 princes. She uttered strange, magical words, then angrily told them, "Fly away like large birds, without a sound." And instantly, the princes turned into 11 wild swans, and flew high up among the clouds. The swans flew until they reached the farm where their sister lived. They saw her playing, but she couldn't see them or hear their voices. Then the swans landed on a vast seashore. The princess grew up, becoming even more graceful and beautiful. The king grieved for his lost sons, but his wife kept preventing him from bringing his daughter back. One day, the king fell ill, and insisted on bringing his daughter home. The queen couldn't disobey his order. So, the princess returned to the castle, a beautiful young woman of 15 years old. When the wicked queen saw the princess, her heart filled with jealousy and malice. She decided to cast a spell on her, just as she had done to her brothers. The queen prepared another, stronger spell, then rubbed the princess's body with the enchanted frog spittle. Her shape, face, and hair were changed, and she became ugly and hideous. No one recognized her, not even the king himself, so he banished her and turned away from her. The princess left, weeping with a heavy heart. She kept walking until she reached the vast seashore late at night. There she saw pieces of white swan feathers, which she gathered. And at sunset, 11 swans appeared, flying towards the shore, with golden crowns on their heads. And just as the sun was setting, the swans' feathers dropped into the water, and the 11 princes returned to their human forms. The brothers rejoiced with their little sister, and she told them how the wicked queen had banished her. The eldest brother told the princess the secret of their spell, saying, "We turn back into humans once a day, when the sun sets, and we return to swans when the sun rises, and we must fly to the distant land." So, they spent the night talking and thinking of a way to break the spell. When the sun rose, the princes turned into wild swans, but they carried the sleeping princess with them, and flew high over the great sea. During their flight, the princess saw a snowy mountain in the sky. And at sunset, they landed on a tiny island. There, the princess saw in her dream an angel resembling her mother, who told her how to break her brother's spell. The secret was, she had to weave 11 shirts, out of stinging nettle plants. The angel warned her, saying, "If you begin this task, never speak a word, until all the shirts are finished, for the lives of your brothers hang on your tongue. And if you utter a single word before finishing, it will turn into a deadly dagger, striking the hearts of your brothers." The princess woke up, and began her difficult task. She gathered the stinging nettle bushes, wove threads from them, and started knitting the shirts in silence. Her brothers were saddened by her silence, but she signaled with her hand to make them understand that she could not speak. And after 3 days, while she was weaving, she heard the sound of a horn echoing in the forest. Suddenly, the king of the land appeared while hunting, and was struck by her beauty. The king asked her, "Who are you, lovely maiden?" But she did not answer, and remained silent. The king decided to take her to his castle and marry her, despite her mysterious silence. When the wicked queen learned of the princess's marriage, her heart was filled with spite. But the princess stayed up every night, weaving her brother's shirts, and she would go out late at night to the graveyards to gather more stinging nettle. One of the king's officers saw her, and quickly rushed to the king to tell him. The king went out with the officer that night, and saw her himself. The king thought she was a witch who had deceived him. So, they arrested her, and put her in a dark prison. She had 10 shirts with her, and only 1 shirt remained for her to complete. On her last night, she stayed up late, weaving the 11th shirt. and just before sunrise, the people demanded that the king execute her. While the princess was standing on the cart, about to face her execution, she heard a strange sound, and there were 11 wild swans flying over the cart, and landing right next to her. The princess threw the 10 shirts onto the swans, and 10 of them turned into 10 princes. The youngest brother remained a swan, because she only threw a shirt onto him that was missing a sleeve. The princess finally spoke, and said, "Thank you, my lord." The king was astonished because she had spoken. The eldest brother then told the king the story briefly. The brothers and their sister returned to the king's castle, and lived happily ever after. As for the wicked queen, she was taken to the hospital, and spent the rest of her days there. And 3 years later, the king passed away, and the eldest son took over as king, and they all lived happily ever after.